Hi, I'm Aubrey, and this is the Aubservation. And today we have on Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. He has some hot takes, real fire takes on finance, but even hotter takes on crypto, Bitcoin, NFTs, Leo's dance moves. I can't wait for you to see it. The Aubservation is brought to you by Cash App. Cash App is the easiest way to save, send, and spend your money. I personally use Cash App the most when I'm sending money back and forth with my friends, Cash Apping them for avocado toast, which now is just, it was expensive before. Now it's, with inflation, it's impossible. So might as well just take out a loan. Anyway, what else you can do with Cash App is invest in Bitcoin, my other hobby. You can invest in Bitcoin with $1 on Cash App. It's amazing. You can also create your own debit card. If you personalize it, they will send it to you for free. It's amazing. And when you sign up using the code Aubrey, Cash App will give you $15 for free if you're a new user. Hi, welcome to The Aubservation. I'm Aubrey Strobel, and today we have Jordan Belfort here with us in New York, in studio.
I am. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for coming in the studio. We met last night, and I'm just so happy to have you on. I want to talk about crypto, because that's basically what we were talking about last night, and just your feelings towards the industry, and you've seen a lot of stuff. You have a punk, right, as your profile picture. You're in this space.
Yeah.
So what drew you to it? Because you were a little hesitant at first.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's things I love about crypto and things I hate about crypto, and there's a lot more I hate about it than like about it. But the things I like about it, I really like about it.
Yeah.
So it's just a kind of a love-hate relationship. I love Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is really elegant. I hated it in the beginning, and mostly because there was things that it was being used for that, and I was dead on balls accurate. Like it was a 20,000. I knew it was going to get destroyed, and I made a public call almost to the day. I said it's going to zero. It went down to like 20, whatever, 2,800.
Yeah.
But then it didn't go down to zero, which is shocking. Like, because I've been around a lot of these things that collapsed and that pumped up. I was an expert at pumping things up myself, right? As you know, right? And when something crashes, it doesn't go down and stop at a $3 billion market cap. It goes like Luna. It goes to zero. That's always how it goes. Like, it's a very predictable playbook. Once you call it depeg, whatever. Once the bubble burst, they don't go and stop at 3 billion. Now I was like, what the fuck? It didn't make sense to me, right? Same time, a friend of mine introduced me to it. Really said, gave me a different view of it, because everyone was yelling, "Oh, it's going to $1 million. It's going to place the dollar," and I said, and I knew it was going on. It was like, it was a lot of people, unscrupulous people. They were trying to get the suckers in because average people are not going to buy Bitcoin at 18 or 20,000 because it's going to 30. They might as well just buy the S&P 500. They only go and buying it. They think it's going to $1 million.
Yeah.
So like as Bitcoin started getting up above like 3,000 or 4,000, suddenly to get the same sort of irrational exuberance going, it could no longer be rational moves. It had to be like, it's going to 300,000, like, because it didn't make, when something's 500, okay, it goes 40%, it's 2,000, like, not that much, right?
Yeah.
So it started to get to this point where there was so much nonsense and false narratives out there and self-serving bullshit. That was one thing. And then the explosion of all the other shit coins, right? And I'm like, this is just fucking nonsense, right? So, but then when I actually took a closer look at Bitcoin after it crashed, I was like, wow, it's like actually really amazing technology. Then my wife's Argentinian. I had really a secondary sort of, moment where I said, wow, I was like, this really has value. When I went down to a country without a stable currency, and I noticed how people were using not Bitcoin, they're using stable coins, but people will save their money with Bitcoin. So I started to really, warm to the industry like that. And I think it's still in desperate need of regulation. There's so many bad actors. There's so much nonsense going on. And that's the problem right now with crypto. Like, it would be so much further along if they would just come in and regulate it.
Yeah. So comparing the last two cycles, last two bull markets, right? So the last one was like ICOs were the big thing. Everyone was uncapped ICOs. It was nuts. Everyone had one, and then they were all rugs. And then you see that a lot with the PFP projects now with the NFTs. Like, you didn't launch a NFT project. You could have done that.
Of course, I could have made $10-20 million in a snap.
Exactly.
I refused to do it because I listen. I wouldn't have done a rug pull, but I just like, obviously, but like, to me, I love NFTs, but just not these. These are all stupid. Like 98% of them are just ridiculously idiotic. They serve no purpose. But I think, again, the technology is really, really cool. And I think that, no one really knows exactly where Web3 is going, but clearly having the ability to digitally authenticate something matters. It's important, and I think that there are use cases way beyond like scribble scrabble art that doesn't mean anything, and then trying to create fake utility around it, and it's like there's an old movie. You're way too fucking young for this, but there's an old TV show. It was Abbott and Costello, their favorite.
I've heard of it. Yeah,
comedian back by like my great grandparents. Right? Anyway, but they just like word Niagara Falls, and every time he heard this word, he slowly with like his trigger.
Yeah,
like NFT is like a trigger for me because there's so much shit.
Yeah.
in it, but. I have listen, I'm a part of this NFT.com.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the advisory board. I think there's huge value coming, but it's early.
It's not here yet. So NFT NYC, we're here during NFT NYC week filming this.
It's kind of like Rome is burning real like playing the fiddle and shit like that.
Yeah. I said some analogy last night. I forget what it was. Oh, let them eat cake. It feels like the French Revolution,
it is.
right?
It's like it's really weird.
Well, because I was been to so many fucking galas this week. I've been invited to so many fucking galas. And
I know.
I don't really get. I'm actually invited to one tonight with SBF and all these people, and it's just like, what are we doing when everyone else is like?
So here's, I think, the issue. So like sometimes you have to say, okay, well, these are sort of a lagging indicator. Galas, they were planned out 6 months ago, right? So it's like, a lot of the stuff has been locked in before the crash and before everyone. I mean, how could anyone not know this was like a guarantee?
I know, but people
they
get lost in the sauce. They get lost in it emotionally. I mean, you've seen this before.
Listen, I think it's very, very simple here. Okay, they're like navigating crypto. In my mind, is incredibly easy. There's really a couple ways to make money.
Yeah,
you buy Bitcoin, hold it for 5 years. Buy Ethereum, hold it for 5 years, or be an insider and like do a deal yourself and trying to find something that really has value and get involved before something starts trading. To be chasing things in the aftermarket, I think, is very, very foolish. Unless you're buying Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big Bitcoiner. I have been for like 6 years. So I love that you're into Bitcoin. Something else that I've seen you do on social recently is you're talking to a lot of people about, you can't be, if you think you're going to get rich working your 9-to-5 job, you're actually like, you that's an old narrative.
Right.
It's not the case. So like, what is the advice that you give people then? Because people are taught like the old ways can't even save you. The traditional markets are shit. Like we're gonna go enter. Also, I need your take on the recession and like where we're headed.
So this is like an interesting point you bring up, like the old narrative. The truth is the old narrative was never real.
Yeah.
It's just news didn't travel quite as easily back in the day. So they were able to convince people that if you went to work for a large company and worked for 20 years and retired with a pension, between that and Social Security and the house you bought, you'd burn your mortgage book and this, right? And that worked for some people, but by and large, that was really a bankrupt way of attaining wealth. And that's why most people, when they retire, they have no money, no financial freedom. And now with inflation and whatnot shooting up, it's just, it never was a rational way. So I think there's this idea that once it made sense, it never really made sense. We just they were sold onto this idea that it makes sense, right? I think that to get wealthy, to live a financially empowered life, right? Obviously, there are certain things that you would want to do. Number one is not work 9-to-5 for a paycheck. Now, that's not to say that the world doesn't need people that work 9-to-5 paychecks. And you can make, in some rare instances, you can make some pretty good money, right? But anyone that's working 9-to-5, it's like, then your life can't be about getting rich. And that's okay. So it's like a matter of what you want. Like some people are not concerned with getting rich.
Yeah.
But let's just assume that the people that watch this want to get rich, right?
Yeah.
So for those people, that's a really kind of probably the worst way is to work 9-to-5 for a paycheck and then try to slowly save over time and figure somehow you'll get rich by Hail Mary and buying Dogecoin, which goes to the moon, right? It's not like a rational way. But a far better way would be to, number one, be in your own business. Start a business of some sort, or you have to quit your job. At least start something that you can start making, call it a side hustle, whatever it is, and then take that money and start investing it wisely.
Yeah.
All right, and that could be in a few different things. The single greatest investment that I recommend to every single person watching the show. There's one way you can beat Wall Street at their own game and avoid all the bullshit and shenanigans, and that is you simply take the money you want to invest and buy the S&P 500 in a no-load fund and hold it and reinvest the dividends, and over time you will beat every single hedge fund, every mutual fund, everything. You will beat everybody. The only problem is it's boring as shit.
Yeah.
So it's probably not something you're going to want to do with all your money, but I would certainly say take the bulk of your money if you're young and start putting it in there, because the powers of compounding and just you're buying the collective ingenuity of the United States of America, and that's worked out pretty well in the last 100 and some odd years, right?
Yeah.
So when you're buying the S&P, there's a couple of things happening. Number one, it's the most tax efficient way to invest. Number two, the S&P 500 is not constant.
Yeah.
There's companies being taken out and put back in every single year. There's a committee that meets. So they're doing all the heavy lifting for you. So when companies fall from grace and become less relevant, technology is outdated, competition comes in, they get removed from the index. So you have people, so essentially they're rolling over this index. But when that happens, you're not forced to buy and sell. And that would cause you to incur taxes and commissions, and that's what fucks up the whole thing. So by holding it like that, the S&P, you can let them do all the freaking shit, and you get the whole tax-free, let it accrue, put in your IRA, your 401k, whatever it be, and you could literally, even with small amounts over 25 years, you'll be shocked how it adds up.
So you said something really interesting there. You said it's not entertaining, and like this whole generation, right? The millennial generation, they watched The Wolf of Wall Street. They read the book. They grew up on watching like entertainment value in finance. And even you talk about meme stocks, Dogecoins, there's NFTs. It has become entertainment value with Wall Street bets, everything.
Nothing wrong with that.
What do you think? Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. And I think that's great. If listen, you can buy those. You can go to the casino and play blackjack. You can bet on football games. You can bet on two cockroaches walking across the floor. Seriously. I have friends who used to when we were crazy back when I was, doing cocaine 8 times a day, we'd throw fucking quarters against the wall and see who got it further for $25,000 a shot. And you can bet anything when you're insane, right? Yeah. When you're buying NFTs like this and you're buying these meme stocks, you're speculating. That's not investing. Yeah. It's a very different thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. And I'm actually, in my book I'm writing about that as well, how to safely speculate. Yeah. How to try to, at least tip the odds reasonably so you're not getting destroyed. But that's got to be money you can afford to lose. Yeah. When you buy that stuff, you have to say every dollar I put in is probably going to evaporate, and any money I make is like, oh my God, I lost last year $100,000 in some shitcoin named Titano. Okay?
Why'd you ape in?
Because it was fun.
Yeah,
that's my number. It's my fun number. It's a fun. Someone said buy this. I'll put $100,000 in almost anything, right? Yeah. So someone said, oh, you just bought, and I was up $500,000. And I watched it go all the way up. I was up almost $1 million. And I was like, no, I'm like, should I sell? I'm like, no, it's a fucking science project. I'm going to hold this thing. Even it's going to $100 million or zero. And I held it right back down to zero. But that was like a conscious decision. Yeah. And it was fun. I was tracking. I had my friends, all my wealthy friends. We were having fun with the whole thing because it's so stupid. Yeah. But we all knew what it was. So it was like when it dropped to zero, it was like, oh, fuck, oh my God, zero, right? Yeah. But it's very different than when I put real money into Bitcoin or the S&P or Ethereum, where I'm buying it and saying, I'm not selling this for 5 years at least. Like I haven't sold any, I don't think I've sold any crypto. Ever.
And you never sold Bitcoin?
And never sold a single coin of anything. I just buy. I've been buying every single time. Every time Ethereum drops 100, I buy 100 of them. Yeah. All right. Every time Bitcoin drops 1,000, I buy an equivalent amount of Bitcoin. I'm just averaging up and averaging down. I have no intention of selling.
Yeah, I love that. Did you buy? So you're buying the dip right now. Love it.
I'm not buying the dip, so to speak.
You're dollar cost averaging down.
I just want up and down. I think buying a dip is very. I think
you can't catch a falling knife anyway.
Exactly. I think it's just like it's dangerous because like you guys have been spoiled. Yeah. By buy the dip. It always works. And like one time it's not going to work. Yeah. Right. Like, yeah. You used to have a saying, back in the day, say, you average down. Yeah. Okay. Well, average up, you average up, you're right. Like averaging up is a better thing. I'd rather average up, telling the whole world I've been right than averaging down. But, averaging down also makes sense. I wouldn't get so caught up in what's going on right now, like in this moment. Like what's happening right now is pretty easily explained. Yeah. Like if you look at what's happening with Bitcoin, it makes perfect sense. It has nothing to do with the long-term prognosis of where it's going. A little different with Ethereum. That's a different bet you're making. But in the case of Bitcoin, it trades like a growth stock.
Yeah.
Because it should trade like a growth stock.
It does, yeah.
Because it's still early in its development. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take regulations to come in to get more Michael Saylors. When most of it is owned by Michael Saylor type, seriously, that's when you'll see it start to trade more like digital gold. Until then, it's risk on, risk off. People will get out of Bitcoin if they continue to get a 0.5% more interest in fixed income or something else, right? Yeah. You guys have never really been through a high interest rate cycle. So you've been artificially, let's say, spoiled a bit by in this weird thing. I've never seen this my whole life where interest rates don't go back up. When I was a kid, they'd go up and they go down. They go up and they go down, right? And in 1999, you had the dot-com bubble burst, and the planes flew in the World Trade Center, and that was like a two-bomb, boom, boom, double knockout punch, and the government just made a decision. We're not going to allow the economy to collapse. We're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to print money, lower rates, make it easy. People, and George Bush got on the TV set. If you don't spend money, the terrorists win. And that started this sort of hyper-consumerism, borrowing mentality, and then everything started from, then you had all the leverage of 2008, and again, they didn't let rates go back up. It's like,
I know.
So you just look at it. So finally, 22 years later, finally rates are going back up the way, to a level now where they were. For example, in 2002, when they lowered rates to offset the planes flying in, they created the refi boom. This is what rates went down to, 6 3/4 on a 30-year fixed. That's where they were when. So this was in. Oh my God, it's so low. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh my God, they're so high. It's like,
everyone's freaking out.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to the book. Can we talk about the book yet?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So tell us a little bit about it. And you were telling me last night, but just for the audience, where you're going with it.
I've been working on this book for a while, and unfortunately for me, I don't use a ghostwriter. I write myself.
Yeah, that's why I was impressed.
Yeah, I write myself, and I have a specific way of writing, which is to make it funny and interesting and sort of a narrative.
The way you talk. You talk the way you were.
So that's, but unfortunately, as easy as it is for me to talk, it's not like that when I write. It's the opposite. I just can't, the words don't come out the right way. So it takes me, and my wife is sitting there, she's probably saying, oh my God, it's much worse than that. It's far worse than that. It's very, very difficult for me to write, but the end product is usually pretty great. So I want to do whatever it takes to get it done. So I've been working on it for many months. I'm still months away. But the book is it's basically a turnkey insider's playbook to how to invest your money, whether it's in the stock market, the crypto world, NFTs, options. I'm going through all of them from the perspective that Wall Street basically, and my friends work there, are a bunch of scumbags, not the people, the institution of Wall Street. So it's weird how you get this ultra corrupt system with people that are fucking raping and pillaging the village, but they're actually great people individually. It's not their fault. It's just set up, the whole thing is just so fucked up. It's it's just set up that way. So you need to learn. If you really want to invest your money, you have to learn how to beat Wall Street at their own game. And it's pretty fucking easy once you know how. But what happens is there's this whole complex that exists called the Wall Street fee machine, where everything from fucking Jim Ass-Face Cramer on CNBC telling you every day what you should buy. The guy is
do the opposite.
No, it's like he's changed his mind 4 times this week on the same thing. Buy Bitcoin. It's all about last week. I asked Bitcoin. I met with 18 people, and they all say Bitcoin's going to zero. 2 days ago, he's like, Bitcoin's a good trade, 31. Is this fucking guy for real?
So bad.
No, it's really fucking bad, right? But that's part of.
How does Jim Cramer have a job?
I'll tell you how. Well, Jim Cramer was manipulating stocks for Goldman Sachs. Got caught, by the way, and that's all public records. I'm saying it's all part of this idea that listen. If you pick up the Wall Street Journal or you watch CNBC or Bloomberg, you find some really relevant information, but within that is hours of fucking nonsense that's trying to convince you that if you learn enough about oil futures and stocks and that you can trade this shit by yourself and make money, when in fact it's so much better to just buy the S&P. You don't need them. You don't need Wall Street.
Yeah.
You don't need the bullshit. Now, here's the irony. We need Wall Street. Without Wall Street, the economy will collapse. Yeah. So you need a functioning capitalist money system of money, credit, the ability to raise money through corporate finance, right? So they serve a really necessary function, but that doesn't give them the right to rip your eyeballs out. But that's what they do. So there's this sort of, you have to learn how to take the great things they do and use those to your advantage while not getting sucked in with the idea that you can actually go out there and watch a show or buy an option thing and make fucking money. You can't unless you're a professional.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you. So you said in an interview in the New York Times that Leo didn't do drugs and that you had to like tell him basically how that was. And that was I guess The Wolf of Wall Street came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Right. So there's this clip that we have of Leo dancing in 2014, and we just want your take. Does Leo not look like he's on drugs in this clip?
Where is he?
It's
Him?
right there. Do you think Leo's done drugs since?
First of all, Leo's a fucking great. Number one, there's a few things you know about Leo. Number one, Leo's a fucking awesome dancer. No,
this whole thing that he did.
he was he won like contest. What's it called? It's something crack. What's it called? Snap dancing. Something. He's a fucking dancing machine. This guy. I'm fucking pissed at Leo. I'll tell you why I'm fucking Leo. I'm fucking pissed at you because you fucked me up because I tried to do what you did at my daughter's wedding. I made a fucking ass of myself because I tried to be like Leo. I said I'm gonna learn what Leo did. I'm gonna make it fun at my daughter's wedding.
Chandler's wedding.
Yeah, I totally fucked it up because he does this fucking shit. I don't know how what's it called? Snap dancing?
The wave, the worm. I don't know what it is, but it unreal. It feels like he doesn't have a spine or something when he does that.
He's a fucking great dancer. You fucked me up because I tried to do it. Like I made an ass of myself. Okay. Secondly, okay, Leo does not do drugs, but he drinks. He's a drinker. I've seen him fucking. It's hammered. He loves to fucking drink. He's probably fucking drunk. All right, but by the way, like. If he did drugs, so what? But he doesn't. To my knowledge, he has never done drugs.
You would have described for the lewd scenes. What did you say? What did you?
No, listen. It's to my knowledge, 1,000%. Leo does not do drugs. Okay, that's my.
You're here first.
Leo does not. What do I know? Okay, I don't know everything he does, but that's my opinion. Okay, he drinks, and and if he did drugs, God bless him. Fucking, why wouldn't he? But who knows? That's his own life.
No.
But when I met him, he's like he had no knowledge of any drugs, so I had to show him like what it was like to look like on cocaine and Quaaludes. Obviously,
so did you imitate it, or did you do the drugs in front of him?
No, I did. I was actually at his house, and it was really funny. I got down on the floor, and I was showing him like the different phases of a Quaalude high, and I'm crawling around on the floor, and he's he's imitating. He's crawling around like crawling around in circles. He's trying to, and he's imitating me, and his father walks in. He's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And we're like, oh no, we're just practicing for the movie. He's like, what the fuck, right? And he's like trying to imitate me. I'm going, boo. He's like,
oh my god, the car scene. That was
really true, actually. Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, it was the only difference. It wasn't a Lamborghini; it was a Mercedes. And that was accurate. To this day, though, I could still pass a lie detector test. I don't remember having the accident. I know I did because the car was smashed and I had to pay some people money I hit and destroy their property. But I swear to God, when I pulled home and I turned the car, I was like, thank you, God, for getting me home in one piece without an accident. Just thank you. I was so proud of myself. And I was like, oh, great. I walked out, and then when they came and arrested me, and I looked, like, who stole my fucking car? I couldn't quite. And then I was like, to this day, I'm like, I just can't.
That was me.
I just can't place it, But
if you don't remember, it doesn't count. That's
not how things work. I didn't get in trouble for that, though. By the way, I've had to pay some money to people, and they deserved it. But because they didn't catch me in the car, I got away with it. They can't arrest you because theoretically, so they came and arrested my house. But how do they know I didn't go home and take the drugs? It's not illegal to have drugs in your system, so I didn't get in trouble for that. Cat with 9 lives.
Okay, we're gonna do who's bigger on Google, you versus blank person. So we're gonna by Google Trend data, who has bigger search, and we're gonna put someone up on the screen.
I have no idea.
So you versus Leo.
Leo.
Correct. All right, you versus Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Okay, yeah, Margot by a little bit.
Is she?
Yeah. You versus Beeple.
I don't know. Beeple.
You're bigger than Beeple.
Okay.
You versus Martin. I never can say his name. Skrelly. I don't
know. I think I'm a nicer guy than him, but maybe hasn't he had something come out? Like some of this is probably based on relevant information, like what time you do it. I don't know, me or me.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
you for Strom Powell? J Powell. Dig it.
It's gotta be me, right?
Yes, you. Yes. Okay.
Sorry, Jerome.
Sorry, J Powell. All right, and then the last segment we're doing is one word, so it's just the first word that pops in your head when you hear this word. All right, Got it? NFT.
Scam.
Taft Correctional Institution.
Not so bad.
Ramen.
Noodles.
Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Can't figure it out.
Ludes.
Wish they were legal.
Family.
Everything.
Oh, I love that. Amazing. Thank you so much, Jordan, for coming on The Observation. It was an honor.
You got it.
And Observation is sponsored by Cash App. We'll see you guys back here next time. Thank you. Cool. Thank you so much.